Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I am your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. Say hello, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm grumpy.
Oh.
I want to be sleeping right now. I tried to be sleeping right now. I should be sleeping right now.
Oh, you like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would. I really would. But unfortunately, it's not in the cards. So we're here, and I'm just going to complain about things until I feel better about it. It's what I do. It's how I deal with stuff. It might not be the most healthy way of living your life, but it gets stuff done. It passes the time.
Yeah.
I told you about an hour ago or 2 hours ago, like I'm going to sleep, and I went in there and tried laying down, and it just wasn't taken. So got back up and like, all right, fuck it, let's talk about this Tate stuff. I watched this earlier. Me and Hammer had been talking about it in the comments, and I hadn't seen it yet, but me and him were talking about it, and I just want to point this out, okay? No matter what else you think about Tate, whether he's guilty or innocent, the man is admitted to everything. Whether he's admitting to this specific crime, Jack, he's admitted to doing all of the stuff he's accused of. Am I wrong about that?
No, he's on interviews saying pretty much what he's been accused of, except I would argue the rape.
Except the rape. Yeah, you're right there. I was going to clarify, but so the trafficking, the lover boy bullshit, which is the trafficking, is it's a kind of trafficking called the lover boy method. The keeping women from going out, tax fraud, all of this shit. He's gone onto different streams and said, "I've done this," and there's some that he's not even charged with that he's admitted to, like defrauding men.
Yeah,
because he's a big men's rights activist.
One of the issues is that the lover boy method is usually used by pimps.
And that's what it's what he describes.
But it's not in the traditional sense of some girl working on the street. He's pimping them out digitally as like cam girls. Now, in the interview, he constantly referenced TikTok, but notice he didn't mention OnlyFans.
Never once brings up OnlyFans. Real quick, I want to address this. Pyrus asked, do I think Tucker was wrong to do this interview? No. I think the way Tucker did the interview was wrong. And we'll get to that. We will get to it. I don't think anybody is wrong to interview Andrew Tate. Same with the BBC. I don't think they were wrong to interview Andrew Tate. I just think the bitch that they sent had an axe to grind. It didn't actually do her homework and actually helps the people who are defending Tate for being a shitbag. No matter what you think of Tate, he's a shitbag, okay? The guy's a shitbag. This is a guy who goes out there, I'm going to teach men how to be better men, and brags about robbing men, okay? Fuck this guy.
Well, he tricks them out of money. It's not exactly robbery.
It is, because it's fraud.
It's deception.
He flat out admits fraud. That's theft.
Yeah, Holly, we always trigger the Tate simps. We catch a lot of hate for anything we say about Tate.
But in this case, I want to talk about the way this interview was conducted. But since you brought up TikTok, I gotta say this: the way that the Tate brothers say TikTok, like over enunciating it, is going to make it somehow mean something different, is annoying as shit.
They have very weird speech patterns, and for the longest time, I thought Andrew was like had like a lisp or some kind of speech impediment.
Oh yeah.
No, it took me this entire interview. I figured it out in the last 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, he was raised in the UK, so
yeah,
he's got this weird hybrid accent where certain words sound like they're almost Cockney, and otherwise he speaks largely American English. But then there's just this weird twist on certain words. That's how they say it in the UK, but he doesn't have the full accent. And it makes him sound like he's got a speech impediment sometimes.
And you're not wrong about that. But in this case, they're overemphasizing TikTok to try to point out, like that makes it absurd. It's absurd that they would be using women to make money on TikTok. Ah, fuck! Stop doing that.
Well, it's kind of a shtick, you know.
It is. Well, him and his brother. I don't know if you watched any of the Rumble stream him and Tristan did.
No.
Oh god, it was annoying as shit.
I don't think I've ever seen his brother talk outside of like little clips on news segments.
Yeah, they did a stream maybe 2-3 weeks ago. I forget how long it was now. Did really good here on Rumble, and good for them, I guess. But that over pronunciation, like, oh, stop it, stop. Why don't you ever over pronunciate Pornhub, which is where you were also doing this shit bags.
Oh, we don't talk about that.
No, it's just the TikTok, because most people will find it kind of silly that you're gonna make money off women on TikTok.
You mean, but like so many women do?
I mean, if you bring up Pornhub, though, they'll be like, oh yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Yeah, he was definitely sidestepping how he was actually doing this, because I mean, having a cadre of cam girls is sort of the new pimping method. Sure. Street pimping is so 10 years ago. They don't actually have to fuck anybody this way. They only fuck you financially. They don't actually have to have a wang up in them.
Yeah. So let's talk about the interview itself. Jack, I thought about watching it. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can watch it again. The link is in the description of both Rumble and YouTube, so you guys can watch it. It's on Twitter for those of you who hate Twitter. Sorry. That's where Tucker is these days.
Mm-hmm.
But my biggest problem with this whole interview is that Tucker doesn't challenge him on anything, really. Not real. This is the most softball. He might as well have got on his knees and filleted the guy. He might as well have been like,
it was a pretty softball interview. But
do you want to put me on one of your cams?
At the same time, though, this is really good for Tucker to get some like new audience members from like milking off Andrew Tate,
I guess.
Also, it's going to be a very high profile video. A lot of people are going to watch it.
Yeah, but do you really want the high profile one to be the one where you're acting like the mainstream media interviewing Hunter Biden?
If I'm in his house in a third world country and he's accused of like serious crimes, I might be a little nicer than I normally would. I'm just saying. I want to get out of there alive.
If that's what you're worried about, do it remotely.
Yeah.
This was just sad. He doesn't challenge him once. He doesn't bring up, okay, look, you can even do it in a friendly way. Like, all right, what do you say to the people who say you're on camera over the last several years admitting all of this shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give him a chance to answer for his past fucking behavior.
He kind of played it off like people don't get my jokes. Like, it's all joke, bro. Kind of satire thing, sort of like what Jon Stewart does.
I mean, I suppose so, but at least bring it up. At least be like, hey, this is out there from your own goddamn mouth.
Yeah. And if he was joking, he's really painted himself into a real bad corner. So I don't know. I don't know if this guy's guilty of everything they're charging him with. But some of the stuff he has spoken about in the past and admitted to, like getting the cam girls to like be super nice to dudes so they'll give more money and taking advantage of them. Is he doing the lover boy thing? I don't know. Well, I think a lot of these chicks were pretty willing to go out and make a big pile of money.
Well, the lover boy thing, I mean, that's one of the things he's admitted to repeatedly.
Yeah.
This isn't something he said one time. He's bragged about it on numerous different shows. Does it mean he actually did it? No. But he certainly bragged about it.
Yeah, and those videos probably will condemn him.
Oh, sure.
Because that's all they need to do is start playing those on a loop. Yeah, even in context, it makes him look bad.
Getting women to be nice to men for money, that must be the first time in history. Look, if you're doing it on the up and up, fine. But if you're doing it, the lover boy method is to make these girls fall. You're manipulating them. That's the whole thing. And it is a pimp tactic. This is a pimp tactic from way back. That's how they do it. You get them to fall in love with you. You put them on the street. You get him. He even, in one of his interviews, I mean, he describes this, Jack. And you can hear this if you ever, I don't know how much you watched when like pimps would show up on Ricky Lake or any of those things, or watched what was the HBO one where they did the Pimp of the Year award where they covered that?
Oh, I don't remember what it was called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a secret in the pimp industry.
Yeah.
It's how you do it. It's how you get them to go against things that they normally wouldn't do. And it's to have them fall in love with you. Oh, baby, if you love me, you do this. And it's what he describes over and over again. Could he have just been bragging? Absolutely. 100%. But you know, it's a really bad idea to be bragging about, criminal activity on camera over and over again for, clout. I mean, I don't even know what to say to people. Look, I understand people who go, this guy's absolutely guilty, because he's admitted to it over and over and over again. And over and over and over again. So anybody who's out there, how dare you think he's guilty? You know what I haven't seen him do until he got charged? I never saw him deny this shit. He didn't start denying this shit until after he got charged with it, which is kind of how, criminals do.
Yeah.
Not saying he's a criminal, but, he was happy to be out there saying that this is what he did, how he earned his money. He was making $3,000 to $4,000 a day doing this. Now, one of the things he says in there, Jack, that just made me fucking laugh. He says, I had no financial reason to do this because I was already wealthy.
Yeah, well, that's because he kept saying, I didn't get any, I never got any payments off TikTok. Well, we're not always talking about that.
I had no reason to do it. I don't need the money. Jack, how many people make $1 million and then stop right there? They never do another thing in the world because they got $1 million.
Oh, I think that happens all the time. People just are like, that's enough for me. Thank you, sir.
Pyra said, so Tucker dropped the ball here. In my opinion, yes. This was a fluff piece. It was a really, really bad fluff piece.
It was a very softball interview.
And, there are things, I've said this all along, there are things that Andrew Tate says that are right. I mean, I agree with him on a lot of the social aspects of things going wrong with the way men are treated and men's mental health, men basically being told that we have to be women or we're not good people.
Yeah, and he talks about that in the second half of the interview.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's great. If you want to talk to him about that stuff, that's fine. But if you're going to bring up the criminal part, at the very least, have the honesty to bring up the fact that this guy's, I hate to keep saying it, repeated this stuff again and again and again. Brag to people about doing it.
Yeah. Salty mentions Eastern European sluts, majority of cam girls. I think it would have been smarter of him to recruit local talent.
No shit.
Importing chicks. Because there's plenty of broke Romanian chicks that would be more than happy to bear their cooter for a couple of bucks. Especially if they don't actually have to fuck the guy.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd have sexy accents that make them sound like vampires.
I mean, it was just so softball. Seriously. It was very reminiscent of like CNN doing a Hunter Biden interview. Just suck up. And I understand that from what Tucker says, he's either interviewed Tate before, or they've talked before, and he's been following him for a while. All right. But come on, have a little bit of fucking integrity. Thank you, Comrade Kid. A broken clock is right at least twice a day. That's not true. Depends on how the clock is broken. But I get your point. Thank you, Spartan John, for that feminist $12. Tate may not need the money, but we all know you do. Thanks for the entertainment while I'm working. Thank you for the donation and for watching. Appreciate it.
Also, thank you, Spartan John, for that feminist donation who just says money. That's one of my favorite words. So thank you.
That's got to be the dumbest thing that their dumbest defense. Because again, it's not the first time they've said it. This when they had their little
I
powwow.
really do like money.
Their powwow and rumble. They're like, we don't even need the money. I've never known anybody who's just like, okay, I'm done making money.
Yeah, I'll take their money if they don't want it.
Do you know how much money the Romanian government seized from them?
No, but I'm sure it was a lot.
300 million in crypto.
Wow.
300 million in crypto.
Wow. Plus all his vehicles and a bunch of other stuff. That's a lot of money. Must be nice to have that kind of cash.
I think it was 17 cars and 13 expensive watches.
I'd be happy to have 3 million. I could probably retire off that. I wouldn't quit trying to make more, but
there's a weird thing that Tristan says, and maybe it's the way he says it that makes it okay. When he's talking about how he doesn't need we don't need the money. He says, when I already have $100 million. Like, uh-oh. I hope you mean that you had 100 million and your brother had 200 million, because otherwise there's 200 million unaccounted for. You know what I mean?
We don't talk about that.
Whoopsie. Easebees, thank you so much. You got to see the Meat Canyon episode of Tate. LOL. I'm not sure I want to. Meat Canyon. That sounds like a euphemism for a bonus hole.
Yeah, it does. Bonus hole. Words change all the time, monkey. Just accept it. We'll the bonus
get to that.
Hole.
We'll get to that. No, I was very disappointed in Tucker. Usually he'll at least ask the difficult questions, even knowing it's a setup for an answer that's already pre-planned. And at this point, they should have a pre-planned answer for that, because they're going to need it in court.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
So maybe you should have just asked, though, because it was so softball. It was disgustingly softball. And I'm not saying grill him, Jack. I'm not saying don't do what the BBC did. The BBC, did you see that interview? That was so fucking trash.
The one with the chick?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was dumb. Andrew came out looking real good at the end of that one.
Yeah, I mean, there was one point where he's lying about what's on his website. That's not my website. It's absolutely your website, dickhead. But otherwise, she didn't even know what she was talking about. That's the only part she actually quotes him correctly. So I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for you to go in there and be an asshole and lie. But if you're going to let him go out there and tell his side, at least, get the whole fucking side. And Tucker asked him, what are you being charged with? And he goes, I'm not really being charged with anything. So you're not being charged with trafficking? No. I'm sorry, what? What?
Yeah, again, it's a different way of trafficking than what people traditionally associate with human trafficking.
But the charge is actually trafficking. It is lover boy trafficking. It's what it is. It's in the fucking charge.
Yeah, but they're using that instead of pimping, he's digitally pimping, and he's trying to draw the distinction that he never turned any chicks out. And well, you don't need to if you've got them enslaved in front of a webcam.
I hear you, but the question was, are you being charged with trafficking? Not really, no.
Well, that's why he's
fucking charged.
But that's just it. He's trying to alter the definition. He's saying, under the definition that I'm using, I'm not being charged with that. That's not a real thing. But that's not how they're charging him.
And if that's what he wanted to say, that'd be one thing, and I wouldn't have a problem with it. But that's not what was said. And Tucker doesn't call him on it. Tucker actually at one point says, so you're not being charged with rape or anything like that. Andrew specifically is being charged with rape.
Yeah.
2 counts. And he's like, nah, no. And this isn't even splitting hairs. This is actual rape. Held her down, forced himself on her against her will. And I'm not being charged with anything. Bullshit. Yeah, like I said, I was just very disappointed in Tucker in this one.
Yeah, one of the things that I think a lot of people don't notice is that he says how all these women are supporting him, but only 2 of the women that are involved in this legal case are actually supporting him, and they're being charged as co-conspirators.
Well, that's another one that Tucker says even before Andrew comes on. It's one of Andrew Tate's supporters' favorite claims is that none of the women have come forward. What do you mean? Do you mean they haven't run to the press? I don't know if you know this, Jack, but most women who are trafficked and raped don't run to the press about it.
Generally not. No. There's this thing called fear and shame. Also, he's a very powerful man with a lot of followers around the world. And if they're still stuck in Romania, there's a good chance they're not getting out alive if they start putting their face everywhere.
Well, that's another good thing, or another interesting point where Andrew just has nothing but the best things to say about the Romanian legal system.
Oh, I'd be sucking them off too at that point. You're looking at 10 years in a fucking sketchy third world jail. I mean, have you ever seen the human rights abuses that go on in some of those places?
No,
it's
I
a
get
borderline gulag.
But as a news person, you would have thought that Tucker might know about Andrew talking about how he likes Romania because it's easier to, bribe people.
Yeah,
That might have come up.
He did sort of allude to how you could get out of traffic tickets and stuff like that with a bribe, and he does say that the Romanian government is corrupt, but not everything. He was really cupping the balls and working the shaft on the Romanian government.
He really was.
I don't blame him on that one. You're under their jurisdiction there, and they could easily come up with some more heinous shit to charge you with.
Again, this has nothing to do with Andrew. My complaints here are all to do with Tucker.
Yeah.
I think some of Andrew's answers were dumb as shit. But Tucker, oh man, what a horrible fucking interview. You might as well have just let him have the camera and talk into it for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Say whatever you want.
Which, again, I suspect, and I have no evidence of this, that Tucker was worried about his safety. He's in this really rich man's house in a third world country. And notice, did you see the shoes?
I didn't pay attention.
Neither man had socks on.
Oh.
I get nervous around people that don't wear socks because they're way too comfortable in the situation or they're a hostage.
Look, I hear what you're saying about him being over there, but again, that's not an excuse. If you're worried about your safety, then you just do it remote.
Oh yeah, I'm
Tucker's done remote shit tons of times.
This was a very softball interview, and you're right. He probably should just let Tate talk for 2 hours. No questions.
It was pathetic. And Tucker lost a little respect for you tonight. Really did. He could have still done it the right way, Jack, and still let this asshole say whatever he wanted. He could have. He just didn't. Didn't.
I don't know why he didn't either. He could have pressed him a lot harder. I think he agrees with a lot of stuff Tate says, so he didn't press him.
If you're on Tate's side, doesn't it actually help you out to ask that harder question? Again, knowing he's got a set up answer.
Yeah, but I mean, sounds like a lot of extra work.
Doesn't that go better than just this fluff piece bullshit? Oh, god damn. I was so annoyed watching it. I stopped after it was 1 hour, 19 minutes, and I forget how many seconds. But I was like, nope, I can't watch any more of this shit. This is pathetic. And Tucker, better luck next time, because that was sad.
I watched the whole thing and decided that I too would own $1 Harambe.
Oh, the one in the background there?
Yeah, it was so distracting. That and their lack of socks. Like
I
they're
didn't
both
even
wearing deck shoes. Neither of them are on a fucking boat, and nobody's got socks on. What kind of barbarism is this?
I didn't even notice the Harambe statue until I made the thumbnail.
I don't know how you miss it, man. It's made out of money.
Because most of the time the camera's on their faces.
Yeah,
And
I understand, but
I was going through the video trying to find a good spot where both of them are on there. And I find my spot, I take the picture, I move it over to Photoshop to shrink it down, and that's when I first noticed that statue.
wow.
Yeah.
Did you notice the wood table that he had behind Tate there?
I didn't know.
It's like a big slice out of a tree there, and it's varnished or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's a table that they do some of their podcasts at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't notice it in that shot, but yeah, that's a table I've seen many times.
I think that those look nice, but they're very impractical because if you sit around that thing, at some point you're going to get too close to it and you're going to get a splinter because the edges do not look like they're varnished, just the top. So it just looks splintery, and I don't think I'd have that.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't want something that looks like you've half-assed the table, because tables should have clearly defined edges, not this weird like tree rim with little bits of bark still on it. That seems impractical to me, but what do I know?
Andrew, have a good night. Have a good night.
Yeah, man, have a good time at work, man. Catch you on the replay.
Con men can use language very carefully to their advantage. That's true. Very true. Anyhow, Jack, I wanted to point this out. I don't hate the Krasensteins because they're dumbass lefties. That just gives me good reason to slap them around. I hate them because they're con men. And Andrew Tate has admitted to being a con man. So fuck that guy. And if he's guilty, I hope he goes to prison. If he's not guilty, I hope he doesn't go to prison. But given his public statements, I think that dude is fucked, man. I really, really do.
Whether he's guilty or innocent, I think
Yeah.
he's going to end up doing some time. Yeah.
Yeah. Whether he's guilty or innocent of this specifically, I don't know how the Romanian courts work. But if all of his statements, all of his previous podcasts and stuff are admitted, he's fucking screwed, man.
Yeah, if they get those videos in, he's pretty well boned. At least on some of the charges.
On the human trafficking, definitely 100%.
Yeah. So I don't know. I do feel bad for him if he's innocent, but you got to be careful what you say when you're a celebrity and you're bucking the system in any country.
Yeah, when I was talking to Hammer, he says, sometimes very rich people don't realize it. You got to be careful what you're saying. And I guess I understand that to a point, but it's not like you see every rich, powerful man out there going on camera admitting to criminal activity.
Yeah, well, it's part of the braggadocious uber masculinity that he does. Like, look how easily I can manipulate the hose.
Yeah, probably not a good idea to do. Probably not a good idea to do. Anyway, so yeah, that really annoyed me because it was just such a softball bullshit interview. So, Jack, oh man,
the lack of socks annoyed me more than anything else.
Doesn't Tucker do that quite often?
What, not wear socks?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird. Stop it. Put some socks on.
I swear I've heard about that. I mean, I used to do that back in the 80s, Jack, but I didn't like it because eventually your feet start sticking to the bottom of your shoe just from sweat.
Yeah, it's fucking gross. Put some socks on, weirdo.
It's not pleasant.
There's times when it's acceptable to not have socks on, when you're barefoot, wearing flip-flops or sandals. That's it.
I will occasionally, if I'm just running outside real quick, slip my tennis shoes on, run out, come back in, but never for more than like a minute at a time. If it's longer than that, I will stop and get socks because I'm not a heathen.
Yeah, because socks were invented as an extra layer of gross protection.
Yeah.
You're protecting everybody from your gross, nasty feet, and you're protecting your feet against extra elements like sticking to the sole of your shoe and ringworm and stuff like that.
Pat says never brag about being able to manipulate the women. Not just, remember, Andrew has not just talked about manipulating women. He talks about manipulating everybody. Which, why you would think that was something to brag about, I don't know.
Yeah, most people don't care if men get manipulated because they're just filthy men.
Oddly enough, the red pill certainly doesn't. All right, we're going to do an update on our vagina being rebranded as a bonus hole by the cervical cancer charity. We talked about this the other night, Jack, and I still maintain that should be called the primary hole if that's how you're going.
You'd think so. Butthole's a bonus hole.
Butthole, mouth, either way. But the one you're supposed to put your willy in is the vagina. That's what it's made for.
It's been my experience that women tend to have the primary, and then if they're feeling like, not really in the mood or whatever, they're on that time of the month, you get the auxiliary hole, which is the mouth. It's very rare they go straight to the butthole, so that's the bonus hole to me.
Nixon does it. Thank you so much. Says that's been fashionable in Australia for a while now. Could be wearing no-show socks too. That's true.
It didn't look like the no-shows because I've got some of the more tennis style no-show socks, and it didn't look like they were wearing socks. They might have been, but they're wearing like deck shoes. So this is weird. They're like, are these special shoes just for indoor? Like, is he going with like some Asian rules on the house here? Like, you take your regular shoes off and put these other ones on because there's no reason not to have some socks on, you filthy grossies.
All right, so we have our vagina here, and this lady, she's got a tag. This is Dr. Helen Weberly.
Dumbass.
I founded Gender GP in 2015. It's gone on to help thousands of people transition safely in a way that suits them. Difficult at times, but so rewarding. All right. Humanity's been inventing new language for thousands of years. No one batted an eyelid when we moved from ye old English. This is no different. The only reason it's newsworthy is because, you guessed it, it's about the trans community. That's retarded. Jack, I'm trying to think of something from ye old English that would in some way be related to changing vagina to bonus hole.
Yeah, especially in such a short time. English actually evolved as a language over time. English words weren't even standardized in spelling until the Oxford English Dictionary in 1921. They were largely ruled, in certain ways by then, but the transition from Old English took a long time. It was not overnight like this. This is a stupid, failed linguistic argument that I've heard way too many times because people don't understand the etymology of words. It's just stupid. So yeah, just saying, oh, thine bonus hole is the most egregiously beautiful, winking eye. No, nobody fucking talked like that. Stupid. Just dumb. And winking eye used to be code for vagina.
She goes on to say this: there are currently words and phrases that are very binary and can be triggering to those who do not identify with the sex they were assigned at birth. What is the problem with using new language? Who does it actually really hurt if we use a different word or phrase? Anti-trans people are using this to once again hurt and abuse people. And it's abhorrent. These underhanded wins are short-lived and pathetic. True inclusivity means making sure that everyone in our society is comfortable and welcome. Wait a minute. Wait. We'll come back to that. And part of that comfort means embracing inclusive language. Don't you agree? Well, wait a minute. If true inclusivity is making sure everyone is comfortable, what about the people who are uncomfortable with this change to bonus hole?
Nobody cares about them.
No, because inclusivity only means it literally only means the people who we think deserve to have an opinion, and you're not one of them.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
Yeah, you're no longer a real citizen. You're just a vile, untouchable. I pointed out that, some people shouldn't be comfortable in society, like cannibals, pedos.
Oh, sure.
Commies. I left that part out because I ran out of letters.
I love how they always use this inclusive bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's never the people that they're disagreeing with. Those people can go fuck themselves. Snubber, thank you. Not even pickup artists would say this shit, no doubt. Hey, baby, can I get you in your bonus hole?
I would like to insert my phallus-like instrument into your bonus hole.
We've seen this
talks like that
over and over again with this idea that it's language evolves. Language does, but it's typically not over a period of months.
Yeah, it's not forced either. It's gradual.
And this is clearly been forced. And they tell us why. She tells us right here in this little paragraph. It's because apparently saying vagina to people born with penises is triggering.
Oh, boo-hoo. Life's hard.
Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Were you watching AP tonight?
No, it wasn't.
AP, I wish I had the video myself, but he was watching a video with a child who is worried that they might not get to be on their hormone treatments and their puberty blockers. And this child says this: if I don't get that medicine, I will go through the wrong puberty.
Yeah, that's parents moonshouting by proxy talking there. Kids don't have these ideas on their own.
You can't go through the wrong puberty.
Yeah, it's not like you sit there with your penis and suddenly it mutates into a vagina and you start bleeding like, oh no, I've started the wrong puberty.
Or just blood starts leaking out your wiener one day.
Yeah, if that happens, go to a doctor immediately.
There's no wrong puberty, but this was a news episode that he was watching, and wrong puberty.
Yeah, I actually kind of forgot AP was streaming tonight, so I missed him. I'll have to watch the replay.
I only was over there for a few minutes because then I was headed off to bed, but we all know how that turned out. And I happened to tune in for that and our next story that we do have video for, Jack.
Oh God.
I just have to get it up on the screen here. Where'd you go, dummy? Here you are. All right. So, Jack, I love South Park as much as the next person. I really do. That doesn't mean I want it to be real life.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Snubber, thank you. Language evolve, as the man once said, it's not progress if we are progressing to a place we already are. Fair enough. See this video, Jack?
Oh yeah, I saw this shit.
With their Elton John glasses on?
No, those are the pay attention to me glasses. Everything about this person is look at me, look at me, look at me, give me attention.
Those are literally glasses that Elton wore one time.
What are the odds this person doesn't know who their dad is?
Well, I'm going to say 50-50 because either an uncle or a dad touched them.
Oh, I'd go with Uncle Bad Touch and Dad Went Out for Smokes.
Probably. Possible.
The first trans woman to have a successful uterus transplant.
They want to be the first trans person to have a successful uterus transplant. Now, I'm going to say this again. And this might make some people upset with me, and that's all right. You'll be fine. Trans people should be the absolute last people. If they make it so we can do uterine transplants, successful ones, they should go to women who want babies. They should be first in line.
Oh,
And then if we have extras, then you can start thinking about giving them to guys who cut off their penises.
You monster.
But anyway, this person wants a uterus for a very special reason, Jack.
Yep.
Ovaries and eggs included. And I want to be the first trans woman to have an abortion.
You are an evil motherfucker.
Yep.
This is literally Mr. Garrison.
Oh, I think this is way more evil than Mr. Garrison.
No.
Mr. Garrison's a caricature character. This is so much worse.
I hear you, but this is literally from that episode.
Yeah.
Mr. Garrison wanted to have an abortion. Snubber, thank you. I say let them. Watching all them blow their sick time on how bitch made they will handle a period will be hilarious. I mean, can't we just find a way to actually fake them for them instead of wasting different body parts other people might need? Especially this person, Jack, because they don't even want it for the right reason.
No, they want it because they're evil and it's performative and it gets some attention. One thing I will agree with Tate on is that we have feminized society to the point where if you want attention, you have to act like a bitchy woman. I'm kind of paraphrasing what he was saying.
Oh, 100%.
But it's disgusting because, 30 years ago, they'd have told this individual, okay, you're a little weird, buck up, work on yourself, get good at something. Instead, now we just say, all right, be as weird as you could possibly be, say really offensive, stupid shit, and we're going to throw accolades at you.
Yep.
Seriously, we're going to get invaded. America is doomed if this type of shit becomes the norm.
I will let a doctor who has successfully transplanted a uterine complex before cut the organs out of a willing, healthy, transmasculine donor, place them in my body. I will devote myself, heart and soul, to their aftercare. I will have as much gay sex as it takes with as many trans women as it takes, and let the transphobes and homophobes scratch their heads wondering what to make of it. And I want to be the first trans woman to have an abortion.
Well, you're going to get all the attention that you were seeking because what you said is really fucking stupid. I just love their smugness throughout.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I will have all the gay sex by letting all the trans women bang me. I mean, you can go be a whore now. I mean, there's gay whores out there. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But this is all about getting that little shot in to have the abortion. To have the abortion. Let me help you out. You can't have kids now. There you go.
Yeah. Just get a toy baby and you can throw it in the garbage every day. How's that? This is fucking stupid. It's performative. They're of course reading off a script because they're an idiot. They couldn't memorize this stupid lines for this. But why would anyone waste a supposedly healthy reproductive system on somebody that just plans on gutting it immediately. That's counterintuitive and not only a waste of money, but a waste of suffering. Because you're going to be in a lot of pain after a transplant. So every aspect of this is stupid, unbelievable, and ridiculous on its face. And I wish nothing but bad things for this person.
Well, we have another abortion story,
Oh,
and
for fuck's sake.
we hear so often, nobody wants an abortion. Really? Huh. I dare say we just saw a video that tells us differently.
Yeah.
Now this, Jack, I've actually been following this case, and we might have talked about it on the show before. But whoops, wrong button. A verdict has been handed down. A mom who helped her 17-year-old obtain abortion pills and end her pregnancy pled guilty to several charges. Her daughter, who also pled guilty, will be sentenced soon. So much for not punishing women, I guess.
Wait, isn't this like a really old story?
This is them. They're finally getting the mother. The daughter.
But this happened like years and years ago.
The incident itself is, I think, from 2017, but don't quote me on that. It's an old story, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how is this Trump's fault? Is my first
Oh,
question.
it's not. The point here is being that the Supreme Court got rid of Roe, so they're going after women for abortions.
Oh, of course they are. Those sons of bitches.
And that might sound like what's going on here, till you know the facts of the case, Jack.
Oh, of course.
And Nebraska mother who took a plea deal Friday, God damn it, in a case involving her ordering abortion pills for her teenage daughter. Self-managed abortion isn't explicitly illegal in the state. Only Nevada and South Carolina ban it. But prosecutors can and do criminalize people for abortions, miscarriage, and stillbirth by charging them under other statutes. Okay, again, they're lying to you here. We'll get to it in a second. In this case, the mother had 5 charges brought against her, including concealing a death and false reporting. Advocates worry these kind of charges will only become more frequent as millions of people live under state abortion bans.
Oh, so they live in the Handmaid's Tale.
Jessica Burgess, 42, or Burgess, I guess, 42, admitted to helping her daughter end her pregnancy in the spring of 2022. Before the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. That's important because this is pre-Roe being overturned. This is pre-Dobbs. Madison County prosecutors claim that in April of 2022, Burgess gave abortion pills to her then 17-year-old daughter, Celeste, who gave birth to a stillborn fetus estimated to be around 29 weeks old.
Oh, so it's a third trimester.
It's third trimester.
I think we did talk about this.
I know we've talked about it. The pair then burned and buried the remains with the help of another person, a 21-year-old man who only got probation.
Yeah, he was just there for the disposal. That's why.
He didn't kill the kid.
Yeah, and he probably turned state's evidence immediately for a sweetheart deal. Like, I will testify for probation.
29 weeks.
Damn, it's ridiculous.
29 weeks. That is 7 months.
She didn't think of doing this before that?
Wait until the third trimester. Nobody does it in the third trimester unless it's a medical necessity.
Uh-huh.
But see, I want to go back to what they set up here. Prosecutors can and do criminalize people for abortion, miscarriage, and stillbirth. Well, they do it in cases like this.
Yeah.
The mother has taken some kind of act past the abortion limits because while, it said self-managed abortion isn't explicitly illegal in the state, you still can't kill a baby when it's past the legal term to abort.
Yeah, and then burn the body and try and hide the remains.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a crime.
If you're in your back under Roe, what was it? Anything I want to say 20, 23 weeks, 22 weeks. You wanted to throw yourself down a flight of stairs. All right, I guess. But at 29 weeks, that was illegal in every state.
Mm-hmm.
Every state in the union. Pre-Dobbs, before Roe got overturned. So this nonsense, oh my God, everybody's worried that this is going to happen. And I had one person say to me, so you're okay with this? Yeah, I absolutely am. Why aren't you okay with a mother who murdered her child? This at 29 weeks, there's no question they are viable. Period. End of story. And to be like, oh, they shouldn't go to jail for murdering it. It's just in this article, Jack, they keep referring to it as a fetus.
No, it's a baby by that.
As a
point.
baby. But that's how it gets put out there. So women will be like, oh my God, we're so oppressed.
Women are easily manipulated. I mean, they're oppressed monkey.
Well, I mean, it's easy to tell these lies when you're not. Notice they didn't put in the headline, bitch killed 29-week-old baby. You got to dig down to the second paragraph there to see it. After you've been told how prosecutors use other laws to get women who have miscarriages and stillbirths.
Do they really? Because I don't think I've ever heard of somebody having a miscarriage and going to jail for it, like a natural miscarriage.
Mm-mm. The only time you'll see that where they prosecute for something like that is almost always drug related.
Yeah.
Like you have a miscarriage at say 30 weeks and you have enough meth in your system to light up Hunter Biden. Jack, I want to talk about Europe.
On purpose?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
More than 61,000 people died because of last year's brutal summer heat waves across Europe, a new study found.
Oh, climate change is evil.
Wasn't that in the middle of COVID? Wasn't COVID still around?
No, nothing to see here.
Most of the people who died were women, especially those older than 80. Italy, Spain, and Portugal had the highest heat-related mortality rates. All right.
We should get some air conditioners.
Let's talk about that, Jack. If climate change is real, cutting emissions now will not stop what has already happened. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, I would think so, scientifically speaking.
The whole nonsense with CO2 is it stays up in the atmosphere for so long. That's why there's a tipping point, because it just doesn't come back down. We're going to have carbon capture to get the shit back.
Or trees.
So we're already there. Where it's going to stay where it's at. The way you help them isn't to be like, oh my God, the climate. It's to get air conditioning. It's to fire up a couple of nuclear reactors over there because they don't have a lot of space for coal and they're worried about all that. So you get your clean energy and give these people fucking air conditioners.
Give them the air.
You let 61,000 people die over there so that you go, oh my God, look how hot it got. You could have fixed this.
Oh, they're cutting emissions, monkey. More people need to go, apparently.
All you assholes,
old people.
All you assholes have to do is embrace air conditioning.
No. See, that uses a lot of CO2 and something climate change. What we need is less old people, apparently.
Furry Kitten says this was Southern Europe. They have air conditioning. Obviously not. 61,000 people died of heat. That's a lot of people, Jack.
They have it. They're not allowed to turn it on.
They didn't have the power resources because they decided to cut off power from Russia. Yeah, this is stupid. You guys want to help the old people out? Heating and air conditioning. That's how you do it. Heat in the winter, cold in the summer. It's amazing how it helps, keep people alive.
If you're into that sort of thing.
We don't have money for air conditioning, especially old people. Air conditioning is not that expensive. It's not like it used to be.
No.
Don't worry, we Americans have been perfecting this.
We invented it.
We can ship you some really cheap ones that'll last you at least a couple of years.
Yeah, they're like $200 a unit. I'm sure
Yeah.
we could get you a bulk discount.
Yeah, we're friends. You're Spain and Portugal and Italy. We're friendly with them.
Although Italy needs to stop spreading that lie about that empire thing that was really just a carnival.
We'll make that part of the deal.
They disavow Rome, and we'll give them some air conditioners.
Yeah, something like that. You guys admit that this was bullshit, and we'll let you guys not die. I feel like that's a good trade-off. All right, what else do we have tonight? Don't care about that. Don't care about that. Nope. This was an interesting one, and I don't know how much I actually care about Rebekah Jones other than the bitch keeps popping up. Well, there's a dude who's making a documentary about her. And you can go over to Kickstarter and help her or help them make it.
Oh.
I've known Rebekah Jones for over 10 years. She spoke out against Governor Ron DeSantis when no one else was brave enough to do it. I'm so happy to tell her story. We need your help on Kickstarter, which is weird. He doesn't actually put a link to it, to finish editing. Why do you need money to finish editing?
Because they didn't pay their editor, and now he's probably blackmailing them. Like, I'll give you the film back when I get paid.
I mean, maybe they need some money for some music to make it sound all whatever they want the audience to feel at a certain time, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Please donate. It helps if you give the Kickstarter link. Here it is. Let's see. How much are they making? How much have they made on this stupid shit? They've made 10% of their goal. $6,500 out of $60,000.
What? That's ridiculous.
$60K to finish this stupid shit. All right. I meant to highlight the bottom part. Well, I can show you to it on the Kickstarter. Where'd that go? Bam. Now down here says your mission pledged to help Oscar-nominated, Emmy-winning filmmaker and activist Josh Fox finish the film Rebekah Jones, Whistleblower. Blah, blah, blah. Down here, when he originally put this up until people corrected him, he came out and said that the Florida We Look Into Whistleblowing Complaints came out and said that she was correct and they had to take it off of here. Because it's a damn lie. She's been pointed out to be a damn liar all along. This woman should not be believed. Even the mainstream media has stopped putting her on TV, Jack. You have Governor DeSantis running for president right now, and they're not trotting this bitch out. You know why? Because she's an idiot. She is a proven liar. For those of you who don't remember Rebekah specifically, she's the one that came out and said that Florida was lying about their COVID deaths. And then turns out she didn't even have access to the raw data. She said that they were lying about the raw data that she didn't even have access to. They plastered her all over CNN, all over MSNBC, anywhere they could get that ugly bitch. And yeah, she was a fucking liar. How bad do you have to be that the mainstream media won't use you to tarnish Republicans, Jack?
That is pretty impressive.
Yeah, so look forward to that movie coming out soon. I will watch it, Jack, because I can't wait to see how fucked up it is.
Yeah, I don't remember what she looks like, but that little thumbnail is kind of cute, so I might jerk off to it.
She's not. I mean, that they're definitely catfishing with that picture there.
They usually are, aren't they? American women, you pay by the pound.
It looks like her face is sinking in the older she gets.
Like yeah, that happens with a lot of chicks.
Like it's caving in right in the center. Anyhow.
Real quick. Thank you, Expo Hotep. If I'm going to pay someone to lie to me, then I'll get a whore. Yeah, or just get a girlfriend. They lie all the time.
All right. Now, this one we got to talk about because I warned yesterday about this.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I saw this.
Colleen Ballinger. I don't know how you say her last name. This is the chick we talked about yesterday who, sent her panties to children and then made a song about it.
Yeah.
Well, she released the song on iTunes.
Because of course she did.
But that's not all. She also has started hitting everybody who has played her song in their videos.
Oh, yeah, for copyright?
For copyright. So if you guys have one of those, you might want to be very careful with it if you haven't been caught yet. Apparently, one of the people she got was Ethan Klein.
Couldn't have happened to a bigger douche.
Yeah, it couldn't have, but yeah. There were lots of people, Moist Critical in his video, he's like, I'm going to play very little bits of this because I don't trust her not to do copyright claims.
Yeah. Well, that's just a smart play these days.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
With anybody that's in this much hot water, especially involving like kids, man, you got to dance around the copyright claim ability because they will hit you. And we've seen it with people for way lesser stuff. For the record, I don't know if she struck or claimed. Either way, you're losing money. But there's a difference there. And the reason I bring that up, Jack, is because I mentioned on the show not long ago that some of my old streams when I played Medieval Dynasty got hit with copyright claims. Yeah. And a couple of us reached out to the game developers and asked them about it. And they're like, we're looking into it. All three of them got released yesterday. Oh, good. Yeah, and I hadn't challenged any of them because I'd forgotten to. But yeah, they all got so hopefully that bullshit fly-by-night thing that popped up to claim all these got shut down. It's been a while since we've seen something like that on YouTube. It's been a while since anybody did anything this egregiously stupid, too. Well, at least a day. When I first got onto YouTube, it was right around the time there were several different people who were making music sites without actually music on them. Yeah. And running around and claiming every bit of music they can find, including videos with no music in them. I remember that. Yep. And YouTube has cracked down on that pretty well. But, there's always going to be bad actors. So, yeah. I'm just happy that the game company stepped in and took care of it because they don't always, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's nice when they do because they're going to sell more copies of their game through you. Oh, true. Let's see what you got tonight here, Jack. Oh, by the way, I'm done with mine. Oh, yeah, I got a ton of shit if we need it. Colleen there, we just had to talk about her because I want to warn people. It's okay to talk about a lot of this stuff, but be very careful using any music. Yeah, any music. Doesn't matter what, because what's free on YouTube now, if you're making videos or whatnot, may not be later. Scribe found that out the hard way. Well, Scribble's got all his released too. Yeah, but I'm sure there's some people that have used music that was labeled as free to use on YouTube at one point, and then they changed it, and then they all got fucking struck. The thing with Scribe is the guy had been part of the YouTube go ahead and use it system, and he dropped out of it, and his new I don't know what his managers who cover that shit were hitting people who are using it now. Mm-hmm. And Scribbles reached out to the artist himself, and the artist took care of that one, which is really cool. Yeah. Because he's like, no, my shit is still available for everybody. So, yeah, you just got to be careful with music. So I don't use it, Jack. Yeah.
I was actually shocked to find out I even had the music on in that, because ask anybody who watches me play games, one of the first things I do is turn off music on games. I don't like game music. It bothers me.
Most of it's crap.
Mm-hmm. There are people, somebody I was in, that I follow, I think it was yesterday on Twitter, that said that they were just kicking back listening to the not the Oblivion, what's the other one? Skyrim soundtrack. I'm like, you have the Skyrim soundtrack?
Yeah, that soundtrack's not too bad, but
Do you not like music? They have real music out there.
yeah, I don't know if there's a handful of video games I've played where the soundtrack was okay, but I don't think I've ever purchased that. I may have gotten it for free, but I don't think I ever sought out that. That seems kind of odd to me.
I will say this: if you're playing Red Dead 2, it is a different experience with the music on. A lot of the music is just background music, but when you get to one of the epic parts and the music kicks in, the soundtrack for it is perfect for the game. But it is not something I would fire up on my iTunes and just fucking listen to. It's video game music, and I have, like real music.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the things I liked about like Fallout New Vegas. The Fallout series tends to use actual music. You had like the ink spots, and then you had like Marty Feldman or whatever his name is sings Big Iron. So you actually have like real world songs, which I like way better than like digitized synthesizer.
Can you talk for just a minute?
Sure. What's up, chat? Staying sexy out there. Bringing the sexy back. I tried bringing the sexy back, and all I got was chlamydia. Just kidding. I've never had chlamydia. Final Fantasy games are great. I hate Final Fantasy. I am bored out of my mind. A buddy of mine loves them, but I am bored out of my mind playing games like that. They don't do anything for me. Hi, Paul.
Cas1X, thank you. Some games have amazing soundtracks. Crystal Chronicles and Horizon Zero Dawn are both 10 of 10, but they also have it as part of the immersion / Well, Potato, thank you. I always assumed that you never used music because you were tone deaf, because you have to be tone deaf to sing as bad as you do. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, it was Marty Robbins. Thank you, Jim.
Oh, Marty Robbins, yeah. That's old school.
Big Iron.
It's one of the things about the GTA games because they use real music. And anybody who's played the GTA games, soundtrack-wise, San Andreas, come on, it was like the best soundtrack ever. But I wouldn't buy it based on that. I would buy it because I love those songs anyway already.
Yeah.
So it would be more of like getting a greatest hits kind of compilation.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it can't add to the game. I just don't understand people who listen to just. If you're playing the game, okay, I get it. I just don't like it myself.
Yeah, I'm not a hardcore gamer, so I guess that's something the more hardcore people do, especially like the JRPG crowd seem to really be into the soundtracks and stuff.
And the weird thing about that, sorry, JRPGers, I like JRPGs, Jack, but most of that music is just straight trash. Just straight trash. I listen to talk radio and GTA. Oh, Laszlo, and who is it with Laszlo? I love the talk radio on there because I wish talk radio was like that in real life.
Huh.
They're just rude to each other. Vice City was all right too. Vice City going into San Andreas is like the perfect escalation because, yeah, Vice City is good. And then you get San Andreas, which is great. And then you go on to 4, which I haven't got to play very well. And then 5, it's okay. It's all right. But Vice City into San Andreas was like such a perfect transition between the two. Yeah, that was awesome. 38% of Brown University students identify as part of the LGBTQ plus community. Sure, why not?
That's not a fad at all.
Nah. Far Cry 5 had an awesome soundtrack. I was okay. It was okay. Devil Fruit says I'm so wrong. If you're talking about on JRPG music, no, I'm not. Anyway, according to a new poll from Brown University student paper, the number of students that identify as part of the LGBTQ plus community has doubled. You know, Jack, I saw something the other day that really made me laugh. And it's one of those moments you have where it's like, why didn't I think of that? You know, non-binaries, right?
Uh-huh.
How can you be non-binary and be part of the LGBT community where the B is literally bisexual?
I don't know. I think they're not really part of any group.
Yeah,
although they do, like many people have pointed out, they are technically binary because then they're not binary and everybody else is binary. So you've created your own binary.
Rockstar's addicted to microtransactions. Stay off the online stuff. 38% of students at the Ivy League school identified as homosexual, bisexual, queer, asexual, pansexual, questioning.
I don't really know what I am.
We have a new Q, or other than heterosexual. That number is 5 times the national rate for adults that are part of the community. Yeah, because I saw a stat the other day that it was, what is it, like 7.1 or 7.2% of the whole population is some part of LGBTQRSTUV.
Yeah, confused child apparently is its own category now.
Well, we have to talk about that number for a moment, just because we keep pointing out that the population of the trans community is less than 0.1%. That's because it is or was. The rest of that is gay people, and gay people do make up a bigger portion.
Yeah.
So when this says 5 times the national rate, that is of the entirety of what they now consider the rainbows. The poll was done by the independent student newspaper of the Rhode Island institution, the Brown Daily Herald, and it was published in June as part of a special Pride Month edition. I'm sorry, that just smacks of propaganda.
Yep.
You have this poll that pops up and shows that your school has almost 40% other. Can we call them other?
I don't know.
Other than hetero. And you do it during Pride Month. It's 5 times the national average, and I'm supposed to think that's just normal. Just all the gays were like, I want to go to Brown. What can Brown do for me?
Well, maybe they thought it was brown eye.
Maybe. When the survey was first conducted in 2010, only heterosexual, gay, bisexual, and other orientations were available as options to students. Queer, pansexual, asexual, and questioning responses weren't included or introduced in the survey until spring of 2022.
Because most of that shit's made up and is new.
I'm going to rag on a couple of these. Pansexual is not real. Pansexual is just bisexual because there's only 2 sexes. Sorry.
Your hatred of Pan is disturbing. Stay out of the woods, man. He'll leave you alone if you leave him alone.
I get your joke there, but I really do hate the pansexual thing.
It's fucking dumb. It's made up nonsense.
It is. I'm bisexual, but special.
Yeah, basically.
And then asexual, by definition, is not a sexuality. If you're going to subscribe to it, by the way, if you're asexual, you either have a psychological or medical condition that you need to get treated.
Yep.
You were probably touched by somebody when you were young, but it's by definition not a sexuality. It's like claiming atheist is a religion, and while they can act as a religion, they're by definition not religious. As for questioning, that is retarded. Bisexual was reported by 53.71% of students who identify as LGBTQ, up from 41% in 2010. This is a bunch of women, because women go to college and mow down on the carpet, man.
They do love the poon.
Why? I don't get it.
Well, women are soft and they have boobies.
I hear you. I just don't understand why women are liking it so much when they go to college. I mean, college chicks can be hot, but
women are herd animals. Somebody was like, "We should do this," and they're all like, "Okay."
A lot of women are asexual. Again, I'm going to stand by what I said. If you're asexual, you need to see a psychiatrist or a doctor. It is not normal to be asexual. We are sexual creatures. So if you have absolutely no interest in sex, there's something wrong with you. It's either hormonal or psychological. According to Eric Kaufman, one of the researchers at the Center for Study of Partisanship and Ideology, what? Sexual activity among those who identify as the LGBTQ is not always growing at the same rate as LGBTQ identification. What we find instead is that identity is rising much faster than behavior, indicating that people with occasional rather than sustained feelings of attraction to the opposite sex are increasingly identifying as LGBT. So you have people claiming to be probably bisexual, looking at the numbers there, but don't actually ever engage in the other sex.
Yeah, they just at one time felt sort of something for somebody of the same sex, so they're bi now, right? That's not fitting in at all. That's not people trying to just be part of the group. Nope.
I know this pisses the audience off when I say it, though, but you're not bisexual if you only have sex with one of the sexes. If you're gay, right? You're a gay man. You only have you've been having sex with gay men. You never have sex with a woman, even if you're attracted to her a little bit. You're not bisexual. You're gay. You can't just claim to be a sexuality and not actually, engage in the sexuality part of it.
Yes, I can, because they have to let me into their dorms
now.
No,
you can't.
Yes. I could say, look, I am a lesbian, and now you have to let me in your sorority. So I could have a massive raging boner the entire time I'm there.
This is so weird. So weird. All right. Will you guys at least give me that on this one? Where you got these people in college going, yeah, I'm bisexual, but they never actually. Can I at least have that one? All right, moving along. Nothing to see here, folks. This is all. It's not all made up. It's not peer pressure. It's not societal pressure. They are totally actually queer, even though they don't do anything queer.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with social pressure to conform to what they're pushing on you. Nope. It's not, because people are sheep.
All right. Let's see. What do we have here? Fucking Jesus. Okay, I can't stop. Hang on. I got to go back to that. Can we at least admit it's a fad when you have these kids like, yeah, I'm totally like that. It's like kids dressing like gang members, but never actually doing any gang stuff or joining a gang.
Nope. It's totally real, monkey. Not socially pressured. Nope. Don't even think that. Don't even think people are just trying to fit in or getting pressure from their crazy parent. No, they are just finally coming to terms with who they are and free to express their gayness.
I guess. I mean, look, I've always said I don't understand how women are attracted to men in the first place. We're bulky and we have this weird snake that's all hairy and wrinkly. Then it stands up and it spits. Yeah, I totally understand lesbians. I really do. I don't believe you're a lesbian if you go to college and say, I'm kind of curious about having sex with women, and then you never do it. You're not a lesbian. You're not bisexual. You're just trying to be cool because it's the cool thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep pushing this idea. How many times have we heard all women are lesbians? No, they're not. A lot of women aren't lesbians. In fact, they like manly men. They like wiener.
They just say that so that you don't feel bad, monkey.
Some even like balls, man, which I will never understand. I don't even like my balls.
It's a bag of fun.
They're not. Don't touch them. They're very sensitive and they're gross. They look.
No, they're full of the baby batter that give the women what they want, which are babies.
If you walked into your kitchen and there was a scrotum with testicles just sitting on, not bleeding, just sitting there, closed up, you'd be like, what the fuck is that? And you beat it with a stick and throw it away. They're fucking gross. Anyhow, moving along. For real this time, I'm actually going to bring up the next article.
Sure, yeah.
A sense of betrayal. Liberal dismay as Muslim-led U.S. city bans pride flag. Can I talk about something before we get to that? I want to go back to Andrew Tate for a second. Am I the only one that's noticed this weird thing where conservatives, people who were conservative and were pretty, let's say anti-Muslim, have started to embrace these red pillars who are claiming to be Muslims?
Yeah.
It's just so weird to me. Because Sneako's another one who's claimed that now he's Muslim because he wants to be Andrew Tate so bad he can taste it.
Yeah,
Probably has tasted
sound like
it.
Wasamo's never gonna do it, man.
But we're Muslim now, and everybody like, cool. Like, y'all remember when you hated them just a little while ago because their religion's insane, right?
And they like to blow up.
I can't be the only one who remembers that. It wasn't that long ago.
No. Oh, I mean, you get strange allies sometimes.
I get that. But
I don't try to figure this shit out anymore, man.
Which, by the way, leads to this story very well. Liberal dismay as Muslim-led U.S. city bans pride flags. Now, we mentioned it just briefly when this happened. We didn't read a story about it at the time. But, hey, gay people, I know you want to blame everything on Christians. I know you do. Because we live in America. Christianity is the most practiced faith and all that. And you guys really embraced the Muslims. You stood up for them. And when people drew them, you're like, yeah, kill them, or whatever you guys did. But have you read their book? You guys are not on the same page. The more liberal you are, the less backing Muslims makes sense.
Yeah.
This is a very authoritarian, old school, medieval bullshit, angry religion.
Well, they have the authoritarian thing in common.
No reformation came down. There's no turn the other cheek.
Yeah, they just throw people off buildings for being the gay.
But hey, in Iran, they'll give you a free sex change against your will. Many liberals celebrated when Hamtramck, what the fuck? Hamtramck, fucking Michigan cities. Michigan elected a Muslim. That's probably pronounced Bill. I live in Michigan, so that's probably pronounced Bill. None of our words are pronounced right. It's how we get Mackinac is Mackinac for some fucking reason. Elected a Muslim majority council in 2015, but a vote to exclude LGBTQ plus flags from city property has soured relations. Look how happy that Muslim guy is.
Yeah. Because he just threw somebody off a roof, probably.
You know what? You know what they could do? They could use those flags as capes.
Yeah, it won't surprise me. Or wrap the
Believe
corpses
it
of their
or not,
fallen enemies in.
I'm walking on air. In 2015, many liberal residents of Hamtramck, fucking Michigan, celebrated as their city attracted international attention for becoming the first in the United States to elect a Muslim majority city council. How'd that working out for you?
Well, the women aren't allowed to respond because they need to get permission from their husbands.
They viewed the power shift and diversity as a symbolic and meaningful rebuke of the Islamophobic rhetoric that was a central theme of then Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump's campaign. That fucking orange guy.
Yeah, with his, we don't want people blowing up on our land kind of thing. Yeah, it's crazy.
Look, I don't mean to keep pointing it out, but Islam does not mesh with Western society. It doesn't. The only way that can work is if they seriously relax.
Like, yeah, it's not going to happen.
Become like Christians, be like, yeah, we have these rules. We're going to break them and say sorry later. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, they can lie to the unbelievers.
Hey, I didn't covet my neighbor's wife. This guy lives in a whole different town. This week, many of those same residents watched in dismay as a now fully Muslim and socially conservative city council. I'm shocked that these guys are shocked that it's socially fucking conservative. They're fucking Muslims.
What?
It'd be like an entire, you move a whole city from Mexico up here, like we're taking over Detroit, and they're like, holy shit, they're voting conservative. Yeah, because they're Mexicans. They tend to be more conservative. Unless you're in the cartel. Passed legislation banning pride flags from being flown on city property that had, like many others, been flown around the country, been intended to celebrate the LGBTQ community. Can we get a shorter fucking name for that?
Nope.
I'm just going with Alphabet. That's the one most of us use anyway. The only problem with Alphabet is then you get it. There's the Alphabet agencies in the government, and I tend to use it for that.
I maintain we should go back and call them the letter people, so we could use the theme song to the show.
Can I just call them queer?
The letter people.
Hey, gay people, can I call y'all queer?
See, I'm not prepared to commit to that one because some people still see that as a negative.
Damn it.
What about trying to take it back, but I don't know.
What about happy? Can I guess? Well, because there's lesbians in there.
There used to be this F word we could use, but they don't let you use that one.
Yeah, I can't use that one anymore.
Yeah,
not all of the sticks.
Ha! I said it anyway. Fun.
Isn't Dearborn in Michigan too? Yeah.
Well, all deer are born in Michigan.
While Hamtramck is still viewed as a bastion of multiculturalism, the difficulties of local governance and living among neighbors with different cultural values quickly set in following the 2015 election. Some residents and leaders are now bitter political enemies, engaged in a series of often vicious battles over language they're using about Muslims, man. Isn't this making it sound like they're like there's actual war going on?
Yes, this does sound very aggressive. Also a little bit Islamophobic.
Islamophobic, yeah, that's where I was going. Keldrick, thank you so much. Who's to say the Alphabet agencies aren't in bed in every way with the Alphabet community? Well, it depends on what day. Where are we? Some leaders and residents bitterly blah blah blah, and the flag controversy represents a crescendo in tension. They said you can't do it, and some people got mad. Seems pretty mild, actually, Jack.
How dare they get mad, though? I mean, that's so homophobic.
You got liberals and Muslims mad at each other and there's no violence.
Yet, give them time.
Well, I mean, I'm not wrong that that's kind of funny that they're trying to pretend like this is some major blow up kind of thing.
Yeah, but Antifa might come along and wake up the exploding bear, so to speak. I'm running out of good metaphors for
Yeah,
you.
you have two different groups here known to blow shit up. Literally.
Yeah. Yeah, and they both kind of blow, just in different ways.
Thank you, Circus Zero says Hamtrak like Amtrak. A Muslim town named Ham is funny. Fair point.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't change it.
Thou shalt not eat of the swine city. After several years of diversity on the council, some see irony in an all-male Muslim elected. Did you really think it was going to be like Ilhan Omar's all over the place?
Yeah, I think
these are
they
real
actually
Muslims.
thought that.
Sorry, an all-male Muslim elected government that does not reflect the city's makeup. The resolution, which also prohibits the display of flags with ethnic, racist, and political views, comes at the time when the alphabet's rights are under assault worldwide, and other U.S. cities have passed similar bans, with the vast majority driven by often white, politically conservative Americans. All right. You had to throw that in there, didn't you?
Of course they did.
Because you got the all-male Muslims here saying no. And you're like, oh, yeah, damn honkies. See,
they're clearly white supremacists.
Yeah, you got this bad thing going on there with the Muslims, but them damn honkies are doing it elsewhere. Damn it. Well, the situation
Obviously,
in
they're white supremacists adjacent.
While the situation in Hamtrak largely evolved on its own local dynamics, some outside right-wing agitators connected to national Republican groups have been pushing for the ban on Hamtrak social media pages and voiced support for it at Tuesday's meeting. They are from nearby Dearborn, where they are part of an effort last year to ban books with alphabet themes. Their talking points mirror those made elsewhere. Some Hamtrak Muslims say they simply want to protect children, and gay people should keep it in their home. How do they keep? Never mind, because it's our media. Like, how do they keep pointing it back to it's those damn Republicans, it's the whiteys? Because that's what they have to do.
Yeah, they're tricking the innocent, sweet Muslims into thinking all these horrific things.
Again, if you paid attention to Muslim culture, you'll notice not a lot of gays.
That's because the colonialists are helping to oppress them and give them evil thoughts about the gays.
No, it's because in some cultures, if you're gay, they will cut off your wiener and give you a fake vagina.
That's America's fault somehow. It's always America's fault.
Isn't the majority of the activists white? Yeah, shh. Don't tell people. Don't tell people. Yeah, you'll notice in most of the pictures we've seen and looked at over the last several years of pride parades and stuff, melanin is not real abundant.
No, these are people that are coming out for the poor, scared minorities that are too terrified of the white supremacists to come out on their own. See, Monkey, it always circles back to the evil cis white male.
No, we're talking about the activists who are the gay activists.
Yeah, they're out there protecting the minorities that are too scared to go out because so there might be some supremacist out there who is afraid of a Karen, and that's the only reason that he doesn't do anything. It's like he doesn't want to get nagged to death.
Yeah, I feel that's not true.
Probably not, but that's going to be their argument. Is we are out here protecting those defenseless minorities that are too scared to come forth.
Yeah, that would be all well and good if we didn't have like Black Lives Matter marching in the street just a couple years ago.
Hate fact.
Yeah, it's just such nonsense. Such nonsense. Anyway, damn Whitey trying to keep the gays down by getting the Muslims to, act like Muslims.
Yeah, by tricking them or something.
Experts speculate climate change is increasing kidney stone cases among young children, according to a report. Yeah, that's probably what's doing. It's not all the fucking caffeine you're driving through their bodies.
Yeah, look, high fructose corn syrup. What? Shut up and drink your monster drink and eat your bugs.
If you have kidney stones, you're supposed to avoid things like red meat and caffeine, right?
Yeah, depending on what kind of stone they are. Caffeine might not be too bad. It's the high fructose corn syrup that they tell you to avoid. I have kidney stones, and they're always like, stay away from the high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah, I have a friend who was told to stay away from the caffeine. His dad also has him told to stay away from the red meat.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that can cause kidney stones. Like it's a whole litany of things, but yeah, they tell you to stay away from certain juices too, and that's really.
Do they like break down the stone to figure out like which one was causing it, or never mind?
They can, yeah.
Hospitals have opened stone clinics to keep up with the increased cases among kids. Experts are speculating that climate change and other factors are driving the increase in kidney stone cases among. Do you think it's cooking in the kid?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, fucking retarded.
All that direct sunlight kids get now from playing outdoors.
Maybe that's part of it. Maybe they're not getting enough sunlight.
Nope. It's the opposite. They should stay inside and be afraid of everything outdoors.
Experts told NBC News that just 3 decades ago, kidney stones were largely a disease that affected middle-aged white men, but they now increasingly affect children and teens, especially in the summer. The number of annual kidney stone cases increased by 16% from 1997 to 2012, according to the Clinical Journal of American Society of Nephrology, with 15 to 19-year-olds seeing the greatest increase in cases. Kidney stone incidents were 52% higher among females within this. I don't think I've ever known a woman who's got a kidney stone.
It's fairly rare. I mean, I know a couple chicks that had them while they were pregnant. Your body changes so much.
Higher among females with this age bracket, while males become more susceptible to the disease at age 25. What are the numbers? I want the hard numbers. Kidney stones among children doubled from, but if it doubled from 20 cases to 40, that's nothing to really get all that worried about.
You should panic, monkey.
Doubled from 97 to 2012, according to the study, while black children and adults suffered kidney stones at a higher rate than their white peers.
It's racist, too.
Wait.
Holy shit.
So climate change is cooking little black kids.
Uh-huh.
That seems okay. Kidney stones.
Drink a lot of water and you can avoid a lot of these problems.
Kidney stones occur when urine becomes too concentrated and minerals such as calcium and uric acid salts in urine crystallize. Dehydration can contribute to the formation of stones, which can get, maybe kids drinking caffeinated drinks, which will help dry you out, instead of water and juices has something to do with it.
Yeah. Water is your friend. Drink a lot of it.
Which can get lodged in a person's urinary tract. Yeah. Doctors have not determined exactly what is driving the increase among youths, but speculated that climate change, a diet of ultra-processed foods, and the increased use of antibiotics among children are causing dehydration. You're fucking retarded.
I think climate change is the least likely thing on there. Not drinking enough water, drinking too much sodas, and eating garbage.
My research group has focused on the relationship between temperature and kidney stone presentation for a decade. Dr. Gregory Tassian A pediatric urologist at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia told Fox Digital when asked about climate change and kidney stones. The summary is that hot days increase the frequency of kidney stone events presentation. The risk of these events is higher among males than females and better predicted by moist heat metrics such as heat index or wet bulb temperatures. Oh, fuck, I'm getting tired of that term already. These climate change motherfuckers, they'll find a word for some weather event and they will just latch the fuck onto it. And this has got to be like the 12th time I've read wet bulb in the last week.
Remember what it was, El Nino?
There was this fucking retard the other day who put up this map that showed the wet bulb temperature was just going to kill everybody in like Texas up through Kentucky. Because he doesn't understand what the wet bulb temperature thing actually means. There's two different things. And if you're in an area where there was an event where you had to worry about the wet bulb temperature, stay indoors and drink water. That's all you got to do. Literally.
Sounds like, dangerous, no, monkey.
You're gonna die. No, shut up. It's like what's the Arctic one that they've started doing so often lately? The Arctic blast, the polar vortex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody mentions polar vortex throughout history, and then like 5 years ago, polar vortexes are coming. You know, just like in The Day After Tomorrow, Jack. It's going to pull down that super cool air from space and freeze a helicopter. But if you turn on the burners at a Wendy's, you'll be fine. I love that goddamn movie. It is so fucking stupid.
That movie's terrible.
That movie's wonderful. This is so cold that it freezes the fuel in a helicopter. But if you are in a Wendy's and you turn on the heater or the burner, you're going to be fine.
Yeah. Makes total sense.
If you just close the door in the library and burn a couple of books, you'll be fine.
You know, I like bad movies, and that is one of the worst fucking movies I've ever seen.
They literally run from global warming. It is fucking fantastic.
You know, the book was a lot more serious and a lot less stupid because it was more of like this is like it was an idea of how they might have had a sudden ice age, and you know that's why a lot of like the mammoths had food in their stomach. It wasn't this goofy adventure.
Even if you take out the goofy adventure, the science of that is retarded.
Yeah, but it's fun. What they did in that movie is absolutely ridiculous.
No, when the wolves show up on the boat, I cheer. Like, yes. The only way that would have been better is if there'd been a raptor there too.
Oh man, if it had dinosaurs, it would have gone up in a couple notches for sure.
Yeah, we're talking about the movie The Day After Tomorrow. And just for the record, the best scene in that whole movie. And it sucks because the character's name is Frank. They're walking along and he falls, and it turns out they're over top of a mall. Now when he starts to fall, Dennis Quaid takes his ice pick and rams it into the ground real hard. And then he very gently brushes some snow away so he can see through the glass ceiling.
Yeah, that he just put an ice pick through.
Yes. It is fucking wonderful. I fucking love that dumbass movie.
So bad.
Oh, it's how dare you? How dare you? By the way, yeah, stay hydrated. If they're having a problem with kids getting kidney stones, they're probably not hydrated properly because they're drinking shit. Yeah,
they're drinking monster drinks or caffeinated beverages instead of water.
Yeah,
that's usually what it is.
And by the way, everybody watch The Day After Tomorrow. It is wonderful.
Don't watch it.
It's wonderful. How dare you? And yes, exactly, Roger. There are people out there who make bad movies and everybody's in on the joke. Those are cool. Then there's some that's just like, okay, that's just a complete swing and a miss. And then there's the ones where they thought they were actually making a good movie.
Yeah, and I normally like those, but Day After Tomorrow is just a horrible fucking movie. And on every front, it fails.
Oh, it's wonderful.
It didn't have any good one-liners. It wasn't like laughably bad. Like I was like, haha, this is so stupid.
Yes,
no, it's just like, wow, this is pathetic propaganda. Like John Q. I fucking hate that movie.
The part where he's talking to the senators, we don't have time to wait, or whatever stupid shit he says. It's wonderful, man. I don't know how you don't love that. Now, if you talk about something like 2012 would be another one of my favorites if they just would have killed John Cusack at any point in the movie.
Yeah, that would have made more sense, but they didn't do that.
He almost dies like 6 times, and you can't do that. You have to have one of your characters die.
It has to be like the Poseidon Adventure, where you have like a small group of people, and one by one they all die off. So there's like one person left to tell the story.
Or do something like Armageddon, where it finally looks like but Bruce Willis still has to sacrifice himself. You have to have that sacrificial moment.
Yeah. Or when like their lander is landing and you get to see some of the crystals flop around because it's bad set design.
We're not going to talk about that. Because the freedom or the liberty or whichever one, that people died there, Jack. Unfortunately, it wasn't Ben Affleck. I've seen people doing, I like to watch my response videos. People responding to the movie Good Will Hunting, which, by the way, I think is one of the most overrated movies ever made.
Yeah, that movie sucks.
That movie was trash. Anyhow, I just had to bring up and say that movie's trash because very much like Silence of the Lambs, any chance I get to shit on it, I have to take. It's actually in the law, Jack.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's not my fault. I don't want to do it. Uh-oh.
What?
Do you know who the fuck I am? I'm the mayor. Georgia homeowner reveals bizarre standoff with the city's mayor after finding him inside his lake house at 6 a.m. before he was arrested on burglary and trespassing charges. Okay, you did not write that sentence very well.
I know. That's what made it compelling.
Because that makes it sound like he found the mayor in his own house.
No, he found... The mayor was in this guy's house. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I get that, but that's not how this is. It should have said standoff with the city's mayor after the man found him in the man's house or something like that. Because it said after finding the mayor in his house.
Yeah, it's just a really long, complex sentence that needed to be broken down.
A Georgia mayor was arrested after entering a house he claims he thought was abandoned.
Still not your property, dude.
What?
Still breaking and entering.
Right.
I'm urban exploring. No, you're just a criminal, dude. You're just breaking in houses.
After entering a house he thought was abandoned, only to come face to face in a bizarre standoff with the homeowner, who held him at gunpoint until police arrived. Khalid Camus. That sounds like a name for a children's cartoon.
It does, doesn't it? Like today on Khalid Camus, we learned about friendship and not breaking into people's lake houses.
It was caught creeping around the lake property on Cascade Palmetto Highway. I don't care where. Saturday morning by the unnamed homeowner who ordered him to stay put, according to a police report. Do you know who the fuck I am? I'm the mayor, and I'm waiting for my police to get here and see what happens then, Camus allegedly yelled back. Camus, who has only been mayor of the city of Fulton since January 2022, good luck getting reelected, later told police he was on the private property because he was interested in purchasing the home, which he believed to be abandoned. Let me see this house.
Still can't do that.
No, you got to have a realtor let you in. Or the homeowner let you in.
Wander into homes, people. Urban explorers do this shit all the time, and it shocks me they're not in jail.
Not unless it has a sign out front that says open house.
Yeah.
The mayor was arrested on criminal trespassing and burglary charges. He was released from the Fulton County Jail that evening after posting $11,000 bond.
I want to see the body cam footage of this so I can hear how shocked he is that he's getting arrested.
The mayor would not speak about the charges.
What?
When he left the jail in handcuffs on Saturday, but explained why he was on the property. I just wanted to see the house. I do apologize to the owners. I thought it was abandoned. You still cannot do that, sir. South Fulton police responded to the property for reports of a trespasser, with the homeowner explaining he had received a notification on his phone around 6:52 that someone was in his lake house. Homeowner was inside his home at the time. Wow, that's a hell of a time to get an alert while you're sitting in the house.
Yeah. Huh. Somebody's in my house. Wait a minute. I'm in my house.
He was inside his home at the time he got the alert and said he watched the person walk up the driveway of his home towards the lake house. He then got into his truck to call police and said he could see someone in the lake house but could not see what they were doing. While still on the phone with police dispatcher, the homeowner cautiously approached the house, and as the trespasser, later identified as Camus, came outside, he confronted him with a gun and ordered him to stay put. Bitch, set me up.
I was thinking more.
Homeowner
He's coming right for us.
Homeowner repeated the order to Camus when he began to walk away, which prompted the "Do you know who the fuck I am" statement. Wow. According to Camus' account of the report, he said he was just checking out the property when he was confronted by the homeowner, who yelled, "No, motherfucker, you stay right here." I'm okay with the homeowner yelling that.
Yeah, absolutely. You stay here, or you're getting a bonus hole.
Like, right? Like, we're supposed to be offended that the guy said that to him. I hope that's what he said to him.
I know, right?
Because
Oh,
that's what I would have yelled.
oh, at the minimum, there probably would have been 5 or 6 more F-bombs in there if I had said it. Thank you, Dixie Rose, for that feminist donation. Who smiles in a mugshot? People that don't think they're in trouble. And idiots. Right. Sometimes drunks do, but it's usually idiots.
Camus stated that he tried to introduce himself to the homeowner. Yeah, we read that part. But said he told him, "If you take another step, I'm going to shoot you." I'm still okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't know what this lunatic's up to.
To which Camus responded, "Are you going to shoot me while I'm walking away?" And the answer should have been, "Yes, motherfucker."
Yeah.
What did I say to you? Once police arrived, the trespasser was identified to be Camus, and the homeowner reportedly apologized to the mayor. Why?
Nope. Because he thought he was going to get in trouble. That's why.
Fuck that. Camus was arrested on criminal trespassing and burglary, but was released later that evening, posting bond. I do want to thank the South Fulton police and staff of officers for their courteous and professional service throughout the day, Camus told reporters. He said he apologizes for the negative attention this brought to our city. Fuck off. You stupid little shit. You should not be breaking into people's... You're the mayor. Why the fuck are you breaking into people's homes?
Oh, the next sentence will explain it, Monkey.
Oh, I'm sorry. I closed it. What did it say?
Oh, I hope that the spotlight on our city now will highlight some of the inequities that have been happening.
Yeah, but it's still...
This is all about bringing awareness, Monkey.
Yeah, I guess. But you the motherfucker mayor. Why are you breaking into houses? What are you?
Well,
Fetterman trying to get a higher position? What's up?
According to the city's website, he is described as a community activist and Southern Black Christian socialist. And a Black Lives Matter organizer.
Yeah, should have known. Community activist. Yeah, he was breaking and entering.
Yeah.
He's probably looking for a place to, stash bombs for later usage.
Apparently, earlier this year, some of the city councilmen had tried to get this guy removed from office because he violated the city charter. I think this might do it.
Yeah, this will do it. Jesus, man. He'll probably get reelected, though.
Well, if he smokes some crack and hangs out with some hookers, maybe.
There was a time you could do things that would keep you from ever getting reelected, but we are way past that time. Marion Barry ruined all that.
Oh, yeah.
They re-elected a crackhead to DC mayor. If you needed to know anything about DC, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
City was run by a crackhead, and then they re-elected a crackhead.
Yeah, like knowing that he got caught on video with crack and a hooker, or 2 hookers, I think it was.
You think that's why they're taking it so easy on Hunter?
No, I think that's because we have a corrupt system.
Oh, there's that too. All right.
How am I supposed to squat now? Yeah, I know, right? Like, oh, it's crazy. Oh, is this your lake house? I thought this was just like an open air arena. It was a free for all. First person to get here gets to stay.
You can't just be breaking into people's houses like that.
Yeah, look, we all want to explore places. That doesn't mean we can. Okay, sure, it looks all fun and exciting, and maybe there's some neat stuff in there, but you can't go in and get it. Sorry, it's not okay.
Oh, there's a dude mad at me over there on the Twitter because I said Andrew Tate basically admitted to everything. He said, TF, you mean he basically admitted to everything? Get a fucking clue. Why you write TF if you're going to say fucking later?
It sounds cool to speak leet speak.
A little bitch. Just say the fuck. I'm talking about all the times he's claimed to have committed those crimes on video, you dumb shit. There we go. Sometimes you have to be just direct with people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, there's a lot of dumbs out there. Did you see that NATO rejected Ukraine's application to become a member?
No, but I'm not shocked.
I kind of was, because they seem real eager to blow shit up.
No, remember what the White House told us yesterday is that what NATO is going to be doing is laying out the path that has to be taken to be able to. So his current thing would be rejected. Did you see Zelensky at whatever meeting that was, looking all sad by himself?
Yeah, he kind of pitched a fit in some media interviews, but I don't know why he was so shocked by that.
Because he thinks he's more loved than he is.
Yeah, well, he wants them to get involved so that he can actually win this.
I want to bring this up on the screen because I like laughing at Zelensky. Look at him. Nobody gives a shit that he is there.
Oh, he's such a little manlet too. I always forget how short he is.
Look at, yeah, it looks like he's been photoshopped in here, guys, but this is him. There's not a single person there that he is taller than. Now,
yeah, there's probably some like 8-year-olds that are like, "Hey, little guy, what's up?"
In fairness, these girls are wearing some decent size heels, so probably flat-footed. He might be bigger than some of the girls.
And maybe, but he's got to be at most like 5'6".
Why is he dressed like Castro?
I don't know.
Look, I get it. You got a military operation going on, blah, blah, blah. You own a suit, motherfucker. You own a lot of nice suits. You own some silk suits with the kind of money you have hidden away. No,
yeah,
I came straight from the war. I was on the battlefield.
I just looked up. He's 5'7". He is shorter than Xi Jinping.
Yeah, he's a tiny little man.
5'7's below average. 5'8", I think, is the average for men. But
well, that's in the States. What is it in Ukraine?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
He's wearing boots. He is wearing boots, but that's not a very big sole on him. It's not like print shoes. That's his wife in green. Is that her? That looks blue to me. But yeah, his wife is cute. I mean, he was an entertainer and rich. He can get a nice looking woman. But nobody cares that he's there. We're supposed to pretend that like what he wanted was everybody to be around him and like, oh, you're so put upon. Let us help you. Macron's over here not giving a fuck. He's shorter than me barefoot. He's shorter than me by a lot.
Oh, the average Ukrainian woman is 5.4 inches. And the average man is apparently between 5'6" and 5'10".
Well, that's kind of vague.
Yeah, well, I guess it's regional. So the Russian dudes are probably a little bigger. I don't know. Just Googled it.
I think we need to wrap up here because are those Timberlands? They're probably Uggs. I mean, it is Zelensky and he is kind of gay. I'm sorry. I'm not going to stop ragging on Zelensky. He's a piece of shit. Does that mean Russia should take over their land? No, but Zelensky's a piece of shit, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise.
Yeah,
Fuck him and his Nazis.
Yeah, this is a fight between two scumbags. I don't care anything about it. It doesn't affect me. If Europe wants to deal with it, they can go play in that mess, but we shouldn't be there.
I will say this. It is wonderful watching liberals in the United States try to explain away the Nazis in Ukraine.
Oh my God, they bend over backwards to do that. They're totally okay with Nazis when they're fighting for the freedom of a not free country.
Yeah, what could go wrong with Nazis over in that region?
Yeah, it's not like that's ever happened before. This would be totally new.
All right. Guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. I don't know if I'm going to do a game stream. I'm really tired. My next game stream will be a 7 Days to Die one, but I wasn't even going to do this because I was going to try to sleep, Jack. So if I do one, it'll be in a couple of hours when I give up sleep again. Sorry. Thank you for the donations and coming to hang out with us. We really, really appreciate you guys. Anything you want to show?
Nah, I got nothing. Thank you all for the donations. You guys are awesome. Thanks for coming out and watching this really late episode.
Yeah, sorry about that. Like I said, I was going to go to sleep.
Oh, I was going to sleep.
I wanted to sleep. It's not my fault, Jack. You know, one of these days I'm going to do a show where I do nothing but respond to Twitter for the whole show. I feel like that would be a fun show. I'm funny, damn it. Guys, thanks for joining us, Jack. A pleasure as always.
Oh, always glad to be here.
Everyone, have a good night. We'll see y'all next time.
Hi, everybody.
Vladimir Zelensky is a tiny little cocksucker. Probably in both ways.